Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
With rodeo risks well known, we take a look at the lifestyle of a cowboy.
Every cowboy's dream is to get on a wild horse and ride him.
Drought and feed prices take a hit on our wallets as beef and pork prices rise.
It's a normal thing for the prices to go up, but not so much.
And NAIT's big dog on campus gets a raise.
When people interact with an animal, their mind shifts and they relax and they focus on the dog.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. The rural community of Thorsby, Alberta is still in mourning after a 16-year-old boy at rodeo practice was bucked from his horse, collapsed, and died in the arena shortly after.
The incident has many people wondering what kind of safety precautions cowboys take to protect themselves in such a dangerous sport. Jeremy Thompson joins us live in studio with more on that story.
For cowboys, rodeo isn't a sport, it's more of a way of life. It's the ultimate demonstration of composure, grit, and strength, and everyone is well aware of the dangers when they go into it. Now, it is a dangerous sport, but there are a lot of little things that cowboys do to make it as safe as possible.
As far as safety equipment goes, there isn't a whole lot that's obvious to the untrained eye. Riders wear a Kevlar vest that protects against kicks and being stepped on, but the real danger in rodeo is getting hung up when you try to get off. Riding boots have a leather sole and are much skinnier than regular boots in order to slip out of stirrups. Some riders even use extra tricks.
They'll take their boots and put baby powder all in your boots so that if your foot does get hung up in there, it just comes off that much easier.
Once the ride starts, it's man versus beast, but pickup men like Ron Hoffman are there as a lifeline for the cowboys.
Rider will slip from the bronc that's bucking onto the back of the pickup horse. The pickup man will pull away from the bucking horse and let the rider to the ground.
Even with all of the safety precautions, rodeo is still an inherently dangerous sport. Many competitors have very physically demanding day-to-day jobs, and an injury like a broken leg or broken ribs would put their livelihood at risk.
Eric Levitt rodeoed for 4 years, but quit in order to focus on his career of farming and farrier work.
You know, you can break a leg pretty easy in this event, and nobody's going to feed your cows if you got a broken leg.
Levitt knows that for him, the rodeo ride is over, but he still lives his life as a cowboy, ranching with the values his life in the country has taught him.
Well, it's just supreme respect, and you can take it from the horse to your child to a dog. I mean, it's just it's a way of life.
Rodeo safety isn't something that can be improved with a few pieces of equipment. It's something that's been integrated into how cowboys have been raised, been trained, and into the equipment that they already use to ride.
Jeremy, are there any kind of age restrictions in rodeo?
Well, generally, competitors start competing in about high school, but interestingly enough, in Australia, it's mandatory to wear a helmet until you're 18 years old, but in Canada, there's no such rule.
So if rodeo is so dangerous, why do people continue to do it?
Well, just like as in any sport like football or hockey, there's a huge adrenaline rush in rodeo. Although in rodeo, it's accompanied by a 1,400-pound animal that doesn't really want you around. Now, there's also a cultural issue there. In rural communities, rodeo is seen as a very traditional and respected sport.
Thanks, Jeremy. That's Jeremy Thompson reporting live from our news center tonight.
NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
With barbecue season around the corner, expect that sirloin steak to cost a little more than you've bargained for.
Meat prices are soaring and not letting up anytime soon. Andrea Creelman has more on that story.
Yes, beef and pork prices have greatly increased in our city. In fact, a pound of beef is at an all-time high since the mid-1980s, and consumers need to be aware. Why have meat prices increased? PED, porcine epidemic diarrhea virus, which has negatively impacted pork production. It began in the United States, and a few cases are now popping up in Ontario. Here at the NAIT Meat Market, they haven't adjusted prices yet, but other businesses have not been so lucky. Corey Meyer is shocked at the rapid increase.
It's a normal thing for the prices to go up, but not so much. So most of the items that we're seeing come in have jumped from about anywhere between 20 and 30%.
PED is not the only culprit for the increase in costs. Drought and high feed costs have put stress on beef production. The Canadian meat market is paying the price, literally. The wholesale price per 100 pounds of beef increased from $20 to $47 this year. Corey is doing what he can to keep customers happy.
We are raising our prices a little bit. We're going to eat as much of the cost as we can, but we're trying to transition it slowly, so it's not such a drastic rise in prices all of a sudden all at once. So.
However, with the increase, people like Darren are not letting it affect their buying habits.
Prices go up, you're just going to have to live with it and just keep buying. I mean, everything goes up, gas goes up, so if meat goes up, I'm not changing my eating habits. I like chicken.
This barbecuing season, consumers will be expected to pay 3.5% more at the till compared to last year when it was only a 1.2% increase.
Thanks, Andrea. That's Andrea Creelman reporting from NAIT's retail meat store.
Having more RCMP officers in Alberta will help ensure our communities are safe and secure. This year, Alberta is investing $227 million into RCMP. The Alberta budget is increasing this amount to recruit frontline RCMP officers to help keep our communities safe and secure.
We are increasing this amount by $5.9 million for 40 new RCMP officers in Alberta.
The RCMP have over 112 detachments across the province and have over 1,500 officers currently in Alberta, served by the Provincial Police Service Agreement.
This funding commitment exemplifies our strong partnership and common goal of building safe, secure communities in our province.
Under the 2014 Alberta Building Plan, our government is investing in communities and opening markets for Alberta's resources to determine where new officers are needed the most.
Pembina Pipeline is now expanding not only below the ground, but above the ground for everyone to see. A groundbreaking ceremony took place on Thursday morning about the plans for the new operations center in Sherwood Park. The project will cost $35 million to build, and President and CEO of Pembina Pipeline believes that Pembina's workforce is growing dramatically and feels that by building this facility, it will further their company.
This facility is part of us staying organized around that growth. We're very happy to build this facility in Sherwood Park and for our employees.
Pembina Pipeline currently has $4 billion worth of projects under construction in Alberta. This makes them the second highest grossing energy company behind Enbridge Incorporated.
NAIT's engineering technology program will soon see a rise in the number of students in classrooms. NAIT is expanding 7 high-demand programs between now and 2017 to accommodate additional students as a result of the provincial budget plan in 2014. The high-demand programs are based on graduate employment outcomes, employer support, labor market demand, and student enrollment.
Consistent with the vision to be the most relevant and responsive post-secondary institution, this enables NAIT to play a key role in meeting the current and the future needs of the Alberta economy.
Chemical, civil, construction, electrical, instrumentation, petroleum, and water and wastewater engineering are the 7 programs being expanded. These programs will get an additional 390 seats, which is just short of $9 million.
NAIT students got a hands-on experience with high-tech oil industry equipment. NAIT's 9th annual Petroleum Engineering Technology Industry Day took place on Wednesday. Over 20 companies displayed the latest technologies and spoke to students about career options. Lance Philgate, a chemical engineer tech, is glad they have a day like this.
Taking a look around for all the companies. They got their little showing on how they're involved in industry.
The companies also get to interact with students by showing demonstrations and answering any questions they might have.
And how we can help them in the future, because they are the future of the oil industry.
The Petroleum Engineer Technology Program is one of the programs that will be expanding to meet industry needs.
The City of Edmonton introduced a new drainage campaign this week. Trash It, Don't Splash It is a new campaign to educate Edmontonians about the unflushable items in the sewer systems. Drainage Services pulled up a sewer pump to show the types of unflushables that get flushed down the toilet and cause sewer blockages.
Through the toilet to our pump stations and to the plant eventually as well. And they end up causing blockages in the pumps. And they can cause blockages in the home as well. So.
Materials like batteries, needles, dental floss, wipes, feminine products, and condoms are most frequently found in sewer systems. These materials are too strong and do not dissolve and plug up the sewer and damage the pipes. The only thing that should be flushed is toilet paper and bodily fluids. The other materials should be thrown out.
Every dog has its day, and for NAIT's health services, nothing could be more true. The recent 1-year-old Australian Labradoodle Flynn passed his obedience and temperament test through Chimo Animal Assisted Therapy and became NAIT's first certified assisted therapy dog.
When people interact with an animal, their mind shifts and they relax and they focus on the dog, and it gives them just a mini break, like a mini mental break, and that can actually change hormone levels in people and give them a hormone release that helps them become more relaxed.
Linda Shaw, Flynn's owner, hopes to expand the program beyond NAIT's main campus, but for now you can find Flynn working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
Coming up after the break, we'll help you plan your summer vacation.
Find out why staycations can be both fun and affordable.
Just outside of Edmonton, you've got Jurassic Forest, you've got Devonian Botanical Gardens. There's so many different attractions.
Hi, I'm Spencer Timonson. Coming up in sports, I got some Rush highlights for you. Find out which ex-NHLers are fighting Alzheimer's, and I try my hand at skateboarding. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but stick around and find out. All that and more coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Rankin. From sunshine and 19 degrees to wind gusts and even April showers, we've seen it all this week. However, the temperatures won't really start to climb back up until a ridge of high pressure moves in from the western part of the province, bringing with it warmer air. I'll have the details on the rest of the province and more coming up after the break.
Well, Jessica, we started off the week strong with a lovely 19-degree day.
Yes, but unfortunately it cooled down for the rest of the week. Let's check in with our weather expert, Lindsay Rankin, and see if the warmer weather will return.
Well, Sunday is shaping up to be a little cooler, but once we get into the work week, those temperatures will rebound into the low teens. Starting off Sunday's forecast in Calgary, they're going to have their day start at -6 and warm up to +6, with mainly clear skies and no chance of rain in sight. Out west into the mountains for Jasper, different story. Much cooler start at -11 and warming up to 9 degrees, but that sunshine will kick in and stay in throughout the rest of the day, even into the hills. Up north into Fort McMurray, well, they're not going to see anything above 0. Their day will start at -12, warming up to -2, but clear skies ahead. Into Edmonton, we're starting the day off at -5 and warming up to 6 degrees, with mainly clear skies and no chance of showers at all. For averages this time of year, it should be between 11 degrees for a daytime high and -1 for a daytime low. Record set on April 13th. Well, one was made 101 years ago at 26 degrees on 1913. And just 40 years later, the record low was set at -13. Doesn't look like those records are going to be in jeopardy at all this weekend. That's a look at your NAIT NewsWatch forecast. I'm Lindsay Rankin. NewsWatch weather sponsored by NR92, the station for the students.
Summer vacation is typically a time of being away from school and taking a trip somewhere.
But if you don't have enough money to fly somewhere, why not take a trip in Alberta? Shane Roberts has the story.
You don't need to travel far away to get a good summer vacation. You can get the same amount of fun while staying local. Along with beaches and campsites, Alberta has a wide variety of different locations to visit. Where else would you be able to see the world's tallest dinosaur other than Drumheller, or even the world's largest beaver in Beaver Lodge? What benefits are there to staying local rather than going somewhere exotic?
To experience a city that they've never experienced before. There is so much to see and do in Edmonton. We're recognized as one of Canada's festival cities. We've got so much going on.
About 15% of people last year chose to stay home, and that's not just because they wanted to.
Some people don't really have the money, and also that they might not feel comfortable traveling too much out of country, they're more comfortable staying at home.
Just because you're saving money by staying at home doesn't mean you can't go anywhere. There are still places to go in Alberta.
I definitely think things like West Edmonton Mall, great attraction. They've got 10 attractions within the mall. I think too, even heading just outside of Edmonton, you've got Jurassic Forest, you've got Devonian Botanical Gardens. There's so many different attractions.
Sometimes even the best travel plans are to just explore where you are. I'm Shane Roberts for NAIT NewsWatch.
With summer right around the corner, many local athletes are helping out in the community.
That's right, and Edmonton even has a record-breaking winning team. Isn't that right, Spencer?
You're absolutely right. It's been a very busy week in sports. We start with the Edmonton Rush, who put their record-breaking winning streak on the line against the Colorado Mammoth last weekend. We picked things up early in the first, score 1-0 Mammoth when Rush point leader Mark Matthews finds a cutting Zach Greer for the goal. but the Stripes waves it off, saying Greer stepped in the crease, which of course you can't do. Well, the Rush aren't happy at all, so they do something that should also be a thing in hockey. They throw out a coach's challenge. The Zebras review the goal and conclude that it should have counted, as Greer's foot is clearly outside the line, and the score is now all tied up at 1. Jump ahead to the second quarter here, right there. Rebound off the wall. Jarrett Davis basically tackles the Colorado player to the ground, sparking a bit of a scrum. Cooler heads would prevail. Nothing else happened in the second. To the third we go. Rush are on the power play. They cycle it around like a well-functioning washing machine. Zach Greer again, but this time he would find Curtis Knight on the doorstep, who throws it home to make it 10-5 for the Rush. Colorado would make things interesting in the fourth, but the Rush hold them off and extend their winning streak to 14 straight victories. However, Coach Derek Keenan was disappointed in his team's effort.
I mean, I'm glad we got the win. We're 14-0. We clinched first overall, and that's big for this organization. But as our team, we took a step backwards tonight. We need to get refocused for next weekend.
Now, usually hockey players take to the ice to fight each other, but this past weekend, former NHL stars and some local media laced up their skates in order to fight Alzheimer's in the 5th annual Alzheimer's Face-Off. The tournament kicked off Tuesday with a friendly game at the Ice Palace in West Edmonton Mall. The teams participating raised $25,000 for a chance to draft an NHL All-Star onto their team. Ex-Oiler Dave Lumley explains why he's participating.
You know, I don't know if it's because we're getting older, we know more people, but so many friends of mine, parents, have this disease. It's just debilitating, not only for the person, but for the whole family.
With 22 ex-NHL players up for grabs, including ex-Oiler stars Paul Coffey and Fernando Pisani, the event is shaping up to be a fun-filled weekend, with maybe a few extra shots aimed at one particular radio personality.
Jason Greger. Oh, yeah. I'm going to run him this weekend if I see him.
I wouldn't want Dave Lumley mad at me. Well, spring is here, and with spring's arrival, the excuse to stay inside because it's too cold out is now invalid. And what better way to get outside than with a little touch football as a few Edmonton Eskimos. What better way to get people excited about spring in the outdoors than a little touch football during school hours? Well, that's exactly what a few Austin O'Brien students got to do this past Thursday. Associate Wellness Minister Dave Rodney started the initiative.
Let's not complain about people of all ages spending maybe a little bit too much time in front of a screen. Let's do something really positive. And so I named it Alberta Get Outdoors or Go Weekend. It's just a bit of an incentive for people to get outside and enjoy the beautiful Alberta surroundings that we all enjoy.
One of the participants was Eskimos QB Jonathan Crompton, who was very excited about getting people active in the spring.
It's been an honor coming out here and trying to, get guys to be more active, get just kids, male, female, whatever, all age groups, just to be active. No, we're really trying to get that started real big around here.
Speaking of getting outdoors, I've always been very interested in skateboarding, but I was never a very patient child. So now that I'm older and wiser, I decided to give it a try in this week's End Zone Challenge. All right, I'm here at the Collingwood Skate Park with Adrian. He's going to teach me how to skate today. Adrian is a skateboard instructor at West 49 in West Edmonton Mall. He has taught people of all ages how to skateboard, so he was a great choice for my first time.
Turning around you like this, in my stance anyway, it's called backside.
He is literally skating circles around me.
That's pretty.
This is my attempt.
Oh, that's okay.
Eventually, I got better on flat ground. Time to try a ramp. This is a bigger ramp. We're going to see how it goes.
So you just got to bend your knees, spread your weight. Look where you're going.
Not great, but I tried again, and this time was better, until the end.
Oh, turn your head when you come back down. Oh.
So this is how the expert does it, and this is how I do it.
Oh, nice. Way better.
So that was a full day skating there. How do you think I did, Adrian?
I think you did pretty decent. You're going for it, and it looks like you're doing a good job.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, the one thing I learned, guys, is that you can't hesitate while on top of the ramp, because the longer you hesitate, the worse it gets.
Well, good on you for trying. You look like a young Tony Hawk.
Thanks, Spencer. Coming up after the break, Jessica visits the mustard seed.
I sorted through donated everyday items, which are given to those who need it most.
Various kinds of donations. We'll often put out requests if we need a specific thing, say men's pants or size 5 and 6 diapers. Those are some of our needs right now.
I'm Taylor Vanderkoy. Coming up in entertainment, we spend some time at the 2014 auto show. Romeo and Juliet comes to the Citadel, and we take a look at a performance put on by City Ballet. All that and more after the break.
NAIT NewsWatch Outerwear is sponsored by Pinnacle Sportswear and Michener Allen Auctioneering.
Haircut and color provided by Ivory Noir, Edmonton's first color correction salon.
Even though National Volunteer Week is coming to an end, organizations still need volunteers.
I had the chance to head down to the mustard seed to lend a helping hand. The mustard seed empowers individuals and encourages everyone to participate in an environment that builds and restores community. With over 250 regular volunteers, the mustard seed offers more than 6 meals a week.
We're serving 800 or more people every month with clothing and hygiene items. So we're giving out, 15,000 items a month. That's t-shirts, sweatshirts, blankets, toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant.
Visit theseed.ca if you'd like to donate or volunteer at a location near you.
Now that the roads are finally clear of snow, vehicles were able to roll into the Expo Center for the 2014 Motor Show.
There are also a few shows hitting our city. Taylor Vanderkooy has more in entertainment.
The 2014 Motor Show rolled into our town earlier this week for lots of Edmontonians to get excited about. The Expo Center was filled with a variety of vehicles, but after being the truck leader in Canada for 48 years straight, all eyes were on the new Series F-150 to see if they could keep up those stats.
This is really part of reinventing the F-150 is about looking to continue on with that legacy of sales leadership. We want to continue to reinvent the truck and give our customers more of what they're looking for to continue to lead the market that way.
Along with checking out the vehicles on the market, Mitsubishi Motors is encouraging you to help choose the next Mitsubishi sedan. They're asking consumers to take part in a survey critiquing the Mitsubishi Mirage G4 to hopefully help get the green light for sale in Canada.
After the Edmonton shows, this is the final display for the G4. After the Edmonton show, we're going to tabulate the results of these surveys, and they actually are all on an iPad, so we tabulate them quite easily, and then make a decision. Do we or don't we bring the G4 to market? And that's something that you can wait to hear between now and the end of the year.
The Motor Show's last day is tomorrow, and we'll be back again next year. Possibly one of the greatest love stories of all time has finally made its way into our city. As you know, the play is centered around the tragic romance between two star-crossed lovers cursed to be on opposite sides of a heated feud between rival families. Although the script is dated back to the 16th century, the characters of Romeo and Juliet are still very relatable to the young generations of modern-day culture.
We talk a lot about them sort of being loners and not really fitting in and you know, that time in your life when you're like, I don't understand how the world works. I thought I did. It was so much easier when I was a kid, but now all of a sudden, all these complicated things like love and relationships and sex and you know, relationships with parents, all that stuff starts coming in and confusing the way that you look at the world.
This eye-opening and action-packed production started up on Thursday and will run until April 27th at the Citadel. Tickets are available at citadeltheater.com. Speaking of powerful and intense forbidden love stories, City Ballet is combining betrayal, death, and of course dance in their season closer performance, Paquita versus Carmen. The story focuses on two Spanish women, Paquita, a young aristocrat, and a gypsy named Carmen, both fighting for the love of a French officer and both reluctant to let anything get in their way. With one goal in mind, Carmen is prepared to do whatever it takes to get what she wants.
Carmen is so bad girl. They want all men in that city and she kill and she don't care. It's like nothing.
Paquita versus Carmen hits the stage tonight at 7:30 and again tomorrow afternoon at the Timms Center for the Arts. You can purchase tickets at ticksonthesquare.ca. I have exciting news for all of you ladies and gentlemen out there. Johnny Depp is added again in the upcoming sci-fi flick Transcendence, hitting theaters April 18th.
Imagine a machine with a full range of human emotion.
Depth Stars is Will Castor, a terminally ill scientist who becomes the test subject for a new technology that hopes to prolong his life. Sounds simple enough, right?
A series of attacks conducted by a radical anti-tech group known as Rift.
It's radiation poisoning. The bullet must have been laced with it. The effect is irreversible.
We can upload his consciousness. We can save him.
Not like this.
Where are you going?
Everywhere.
Warner Brothers hooked us up with some swag to give away. I have a free t-shirt and a movie pass for the first person to tweet us the answer to this question. Who was originally supposed to play the role of Will Castor? I'll give you a hint. He starred in American Hustle. I also have one more thing to give away. Our street team, NAIT's Angels, have a contest going on that could score you a prize package from Oilers Nation and The Pint. To enter, go to our website, watch an episode of NAIT NewsWatch, and tweet an anchor's name, as well as the hashtag NAITNation, to our Twitter's page at NAIT NewsWatch. The contest runs until April 14th. There's a look at your entertainment for this week. Back to you guys.
NAIT digital media and IT students bring a piece of prehistoric history to life.
The digital media students made a documentary of a fossilized skeleton of a feathered dinosaur. The fossil was found by Drumheller-based dinosaur hunter Frank Hatfield. While walking through the Albertans Badlands in 2007, Hatfield found a second fossil of the year of the same dinosaur and teamed up with the digital media students to bring the fossils to life.
When you work on these things and look for the fossils and that, it's one thing to find those, but to see it actually brought to life with the detail and that they put into the project was absolutely amazing.
The 5-minute documentary, which is called The First Feathered Dinosaur of the Western World, aired on Discovery Channel. Hatfield plans to use the documentary when he makes public presentations about his find. The fossils are currently at the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology in Drumheller.
Thanks for watching our last episode of NAIT NewsWatch. You can check out other episodes on naitnewswatch.ca.
Join us in the next few weeks to check out our extra shows where we see features we've been working on all year long. Thank you and have a great weekend.
Good night.